Hey guys, West here, back with some more from the Crumbs. And yeah, we're going to share some progression with you today. Not too much has happened since the last episode, which was about 4 or 5 days ago, maybe 6. We've farmed some runes, we did some guild battles. We just lost a siege, which kind of sucks, but I don't know, we were pretty outclassed. What now? I've never had a prompt like that before. Oh, I have the max number of monsters in possession. Okay, that makes sense. Well, I guess we'll talk about monsters for a second. There's not too much to share about that. I played around with Spectra's runes a little bit. Spectra's, I don't know, Spectra's just ruined. I've been messing around with Hraesvelg looking for Fatal and Blade runes to rune him up with. I'm planning on how I'm going to turn Charlotte back into a Despair monster because her attack is decent, but the thing is with no speed, I really don't like how Charlotte performs. I can't really use her in Arena Cleave as much as I'd like to because with that amount of speed, not having a Konamaya or something to instantly give her attack bar, Bernard isn't really enough to give her turn advantage. If she was at least plus 60 speed, then she'd be a lot more usable, but I don't have any Fatal or Blade runes I could really put on her besides what I have on Hraesvelg. And I don't want to unrune him because he's pretty instrumental to my Giants team right now, as his damage output and his branding bring a lot of utility to the table, as well as dots in taking down the boss. Oh, I did rune up Galleon fully. Megan has been ruined for a while as my primary support monster in Giants, and I traded her runes onto Galleon, plus some other runes I had lying around. So he has really high HP, at least for a Galleon, I guess, and still really high speed, plus 134 now. Megan does not have good runes. She has whatever leftover crap I gave her. I'm not even going to show the substats on the runes because they're garbage. She's on a speed defense with runes that aren't even plus to the max. I am looking for replacement runes for her right now. I'm taking 6-star blue runes with speed substats, and I'm going to be placing those on her if I get them. But Galleon's going to be getting my primary Swift set. And Bernard lost a rune or two in the process too, so he's no longer 250 speed, which kind of sucks, but I'm not as worried about Arena right now as I am about farming Giants. And this did effectively speed up my average runtime by 10 seconds, so it was pretty worth it for me to give Megan's and some of Bernard's runes to Galleon. In terms of damage dealers, Sigmar is the same as he has been. Hraesvelg hasn't gotten any changes yet. I'm going to show you guys this Fatal rune I got today. I'll have a picture on screen now. The way it started was, extremely high potential, and the only thing I wanted to do was avoid flat HP, and of course it rolled into flat HP twice. But it did double max roll and crit rate, so it's kind of hard to complain about the rune. It's still better than anything I have. It's the only 6-star attack percentage rune I have that is decent. Charlotte has a blade rune, but other than the crit damage and I guess some of the accuracy, it's not really effective on Charlotte. It might actually be more effective on Hraesvelg since he does want some tanky substats eventually. But the plan is not to make him into a tank monster yet. I am probably going to put this rune on Hraesvelg. The only problem I have with it is that it doesn't have speed. This is one place where Raise would kind of be nice. Although the only thing I would really want to reroll for speed, I guess, would be the defense. I don't want to give up that accuracy, and it's kind of hard to give up double rolls in the HP because you're taking away a lot of the efficiency of the rune if you reroll that. So I probably wouldn't do that. Not to mention it's 6-star. I was planning to reappraise it after I saw it roll into flat HP twice, but the crit rate is pretty redeeming. 18% crit rate is very high, and you can't really grind up crit rates through grinds, so I guess that's a keepable rune that I could replace substats on later. We have a lot of these runes that are fatal with high speed that I've yet to find a use for. We also have a lot of runes with high attack but no crit rate or crit damage that are kind of awkward. Good on monsters like Miang, good on monsters that are attack-based healers, so monsters like the Light Drunken Master or the Light Fairy. So I consider them a little bit when I'm thinking about stuff like that. I don't have any Sky Dancers on this account yet, so probably not going to be worrying about anything like that. I have a lot of, I guess, B and C tier runes that I'm keeping for extra damage dealers. This is a sellable rune. because I want to build up more damage dealers for Siege. My plan is to make basically 3 or 4 sets of real teams. Any more than that would be stretching my runes a lot and would be outside of the potential of my account currently. But I think I can effectively rune up at least 3 teams. Teams being 1 support, 1 tank or healer, and then 1 damage dealer, and that's what I want to have for each team. Of course, I want to diversify the attributes, so I'm trying to build 2 damage dealers in each element. I think that'll help a lot. And then from there, we'll build supports as they synergize with the other monsters that I've built. I'm just showing off a few runes here. I'm not showing off good runes, I'm showing off the runes that I have and the runes that are going to be put on some of these monsters. Slot 4 is kind of a trouble spot for me, as it is for a lot of people, I believe, because there's only, one type of rune you want in slot 4 typically for fatal sets and blade sets, which is going to be your crit damage. This rune's not terrible, attack and crit damage, but crit rate on my monsters are kind of low. Hraesvelg, I would like to have it higher. Also, his crit damage needs to be a lot higher. There's a lot of things he needs. He's kind of a finicky monster. He wants tanky substats, but he also wants speed and attack and accuracy and crit rate and crit damage. So he basically wants everything, including resistance. So he's pretty difficult to rune up right now. I am giving him the best runes I can give him. Of course, most of my runes don't have speed subs while having good crit rate, crit damage, and attack, because you don't really get a lot of those perfect 6-star legendary runes early in the game, or at least unless you're really, really lucky. Stella's still just kind of sitting there, not really fully in the picture yet. Since I did finish Devilmoning Rakan, I have been starting to Devilmon Hraesvelg. So far, so good. I really want to get the 2nd and 3rd skill maxed just for the cooldown reduction. The 1st skill I'm not worried about. I have the harmful effect rate up, so it would just be additional damage at this point. Nothing huge. Looking at my runes and just messing around in the rune manager, I do have the runes to build a speed crit damage attack Wayne with about 140% crit damage, about 200 speed, and reasonable attack, the attack being like about 160% of the base value with percentages. So I might build Wayne. The thing is, if I was going to build Wayne, he would have to be 6-star because his attack is completely abysmal at 5-star. 476 attack is nothing. It's no contest. There's no reason to build him at 5-star and really play around with him because his damage output is just going to be pathetic. Even Hraesvelg at 6-star, he has, very, very low attack. Lower attack than Veramos has even. But I wouldn't be able to really utilize Wayne completely. Awakened, his attack is the same as Stella's attack unawakened, which just kind of points out, high attack is not his strong suit. So if I were to use him, I'd probably want to 6-star him. I have Bark here, still thinking about building him. He'd also be pretty good in Giants if I were to take out... I'd probably take out Bella Dion and put him in there and have triple damage dealer Bark Vero, double damage dealer Bark Galleon Vero as my team. That would be pretty quick. So, I don't know, I've been thinking about that as well. Wind Pioneer, still not even in my radar. Eladriel, I have been looking for runes for him. There's not too much I can give him yet. I was thinking about putting him on Swift Energy, just because Swift, of course, is the rune I'm getting the most of, and I have a lot of HP and defense-based ones, but a lot of the runes that I've even kept for Swift that don't have pretty high speed are more for someone like Rakan. Like this rune, I was tempted to put Rakan on Swift and like a Swift Energy build, just because I don't really have him on Violent, and I'm not going to have Vampire runes for him for a long time. So I've been thinking about that. But he would need all his own runes altogether. Faye, I have been considering her as well. The problem is, if I built Faye, I'd want to have her max skilled, just because she really needs to have that consistent, damage. So she needs to have her skills off of cooldown so she can keep, applying the negative effects and reducing attack bars and doing all that ridiculous ignore defense damage that everybody loves so much. Something like a Faye, Megan, and +1 comp, and the +1 would either be a tank or a utility monster that took aggro off of Fae or protected Fae somehow. But again, with Fae, I would probably want to farm a bunch of those wind Kung Fu Girls and basically fuse them so that I could have skill ups, because Devil Mining sucks. It sucks wasting Devil Mon on 4 stars. Even on Hraesvelg it kind of sucks, but I don't really see a lot of Barbarian King drops, and I haven't seen a lot, so he's probably going to get Devilmon just because he's a big priority in my team right now, and because I'm giving him my highest rune quality. So I feel like if you're giving a monster your highest rune quality, they kind of deserve to be Devilmon so that they could consistently use their stuff. I did pull a Dark Serpent Manchura. He's really nice for TOA, and I could probably use him in Guild Wars as a defense breaker for some of my comps. Any monster that self-buffs, for example, I could bring him with a Hraesvelg, so I could Manchura, then Hraesvelg AoE to buff the team, and then go in and kill everybody now that their AoE defense broken, and perhaps even stunned if I have him on Despair. I'm kind of excited to use that comp. I've seen a lot, I haven't really seen a lot. I've heard a lot about people using Manchura in Guild Wars and sometimes in Arena as an AoE defense breaker. He also has usability in Dragons, so it'd be fun to play around with him a lot, I'm sure. He is going to require some decent runes. I don't know whether I'd want to put him on triple HP, speed HP, or an HP crit damage HP build with speed subs, all of which require pretty decent Despair energy runes. So either way, I'm going to be spending a lot of time in Giants. I don't really have a need for Violent runes on any of my monsters. Yeah, sure, Galleon would be cool on Violent, so would my supports and my Hraesvelg, but it's not like they need Violent for their kit. For example, a monster that might need Violent for their kit would be someone like Eladriel. Eladriel just wants ridiculous amount of turns to heal and revive and remove beneficial effects, so he's a pretty strong Violent monster. Of course, Verdahill's pretty strong on Violent, but none of those monsters have my highest rune quality, and none of them are really necessary for me to progress, I would say. If I pulled something like a Ganymede, or I pulled some other ridiculous monster that really needed Violent, maybe I'd feel pushed to go into Dragons, but I really don't at all. So I'm probably just going to keep on in Giants. I am getting those higher quality Swift runes, speeding up my monsters, and trying to build monsters as I go. Of course, I don't have the runes for a lot of these monsters. I have been bringing a lot of monsters for 5-star for these teams. Like I said before, I have my defensive team with the Copper Bulldozer Randy. The Randy lead is pretty nice for guild battles. 3-star with a 16% speed lead is not terrible. So, summonings, I did do some stone summons, nothing notable. I did get a fire succubus, which, yeah, meh. That came up from a mystical scroll, not the stone summons, just to clarify. And that monster is very usable in TOA as well for the sleeps. Let's open one of these trophy boxes and see what we get. Wow, the shiny one, first try. That's amazing. Although I've seen like double wind scroll. I think I saw double wind scroll out of a box that wasn't shiny, and it was like a B or B plus box. So I don't know. These trophy boxes don't make a lot of sense. Other than that, for progression, not too much new for World Boss. TOA, I got a little bit further using Beretta. Giant's speed is not crazy fast, but it works. I'll show you guys here. I am doing triple damage dealer Vero Galleon right now, which is pretty nice. I like it. I'll show you guys how it performs here. Notable in this team, not too much. I try to pay attention to the failures to really see where the team is struggling, but it's sometimes you just get bad RNG, and it's hard to really modify your monsters to compensate for that. The best I can really do is increase their damage, increase their speed, and increase their tankiness, but even that sometimes isn't enough, because if Galleon doesn't land the defense break and Hraesvelg doesn't land the brand, all little things that can slow down the run, stuff can happen. And I guess the easiest way to really make your team more consistent is take out any element of, or all the elements of RNG that you can afford to take out. And so anytime you have a monster that needs to land something for the run to be successful, then it's probably based on RNG. Because the accuracy resistance formula in this game is not perfect. and regardless of how much accuracy you have, you're still going to have that 15% chance of your ability not happening. Of course, monsters like Vero have an 85% chance of even landing the dot, so even before accuracy, your monsters can fall short essentially. I do have double attack buffs, which is kind of nice, and redundancy in teams really helps your teams be more consistent. Charlotte with glancing helps because with glancing, even with attack buff on an AoE on my team, they're not going to kill Galleon, they're not going to kill Vero, and they're not going to kill Hrazeville with just one. Also, the attack bar reduction from 2 different monsters is pretty decent. So 137 run is about 140 on average, so I'm just grinding away using as many crystals as I can. Yeah, I pretty much just going to be in Giants for a long time. If I get any more notable runes, of course, I will make more update videos. The thing is, it's kind of hard to make update videos on this account when progression is very linear. It's not like I'm, it's linear in the way that I'm constantly going to be grinding Giants, but it's not like nothing is guaranteed. So I'm not 100% sure when I'm going to get good runes or whatever, anything like that. So next update video will probably be when I've maybe gotten a few good runes. I'll try to have some summons ready. TOA is going to be resetting in 2 days, so that'll be fun. I'll try to rush TOA so I can get it done. I do want to summon within this rotation because, as I've mentioned previously, I love Laika, I love Wusa, and I believe the other monster is Sierra. I'll check after this run. Whatever wind monster it is, I believe, is pretty good too. All around this rotation is pretty strong, so all the Nat 5s are amazing. I think it's got a good Nat 4 as well. Yeah, the Nat 5 is Sierra. It also has Zhao Lin, which is amazing. Like I said, I do need those Kung Fu Girl skill ups, and I've already pulled 3 water Kung Fu Girls, one of which got fed to Faye, one of which is in storage, and one of which is waiting to be built for Guild Wars and Guild Siege. So getting more of those would just be free Devilmon for Faye, essentially, as well as Trevor's. Those are never terrible. Trevor doesn't really need skill ups, but giving him more damage is nice, I guess. But it's not terrible. It's not a terrible pull, I guess. See, even runs like this, like, it's still successful, and it's kind of scary to watch these runs. It doesn't fail that often. It's 1 out of every like 15-20 runs maybe it'll fail, and that'll just be when the RNG sucks. Sometimes it'll go 100 or so runs without failing, like an entire day without failing, which is nuts. But if you watch the runs, it'll give you anxiety, because for maybe 80% of the runs, it'll just be solo Vero or solo Galleon or solo Charlotte versus the boss, and it's man, but it'll still be a 145 run, so I'm not complaining. The runs aren't super unsuccessful, and the time is pretty great. I have no complaints now. Improvements are going to be made when I don't even know. There's not too much I could do in terms of improving the team besides putting Charlotte on a faster build, making Sigmaris faster, all things that require more farming in Giants. So as I farm in Giants, this team will get better naturally. These are all monsters I use in other parts of the game, of course. These are the monsters in my main Guild Wars teams, as well as the monsters in my main arena teams, so they will, of course, always have my highest rune priority. Which means that, of course, over time, naturally their runes should get better and improve. That's about all for this update video. I don't think I missed anything. If you have any questions or comments about my account or what's been going on, or just want to say hi in the comments below, always feel free to do so. Like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to get notified about new videos. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.